y'all ready for this pantry overhaul? I am getting ready to dive into my pantry and just completely overhaul it. It is messy and unorganized, and we are going to dive in and get it all tidy and organized and just functioning better for our family. I'm so excited to tackle this project today. So let's do it together, guys. We're going to go ahead and jump right in. So let's get going. All right, guys, first things first, everything must come out. So just remember, it's going to get worse before it gets better. I'm telling you that, but I'm really telling myself it's gonna get worse before it gets better. I'm just diving in, so here we go. So what I'm doing is I'm removing everything. I'm gonna be real honest with you. We have water always on hand, and when it goes on sale, we grab one. So we've got extra built up. We have built this up over a very long period of time. But I am not gonna move these out. I'm gonna clean around them. They're gonna stay there. That's where my husband wants to keep them. So I am gonna clean around them, but I am not moving all of these. I'm just not. So I'm cleaning out everything else. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling everything out. As I pull it out, I am staging it over here, and I'm trying to stage it by category. So like pastas, cereal, chips, like baking type stuff, baby teethers and some of the baby stuff. You know, I'm gonna go through this candy and treats. Some of that's from Halloween and I'm throwing it away. I'm gonna weed out anything that's expired or bad. Like this is empty. This was put back in there empty. So that's kind of my process, is I pull everything out and then group it in categories as I pull it out. And then once I get to the next step, I will show you guys how I put it all back in. And I'm gonna even pull out what's in these shelves and show you guys kind of how I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna leave everything very similar because this was working. It's just gotten too full, and kind of, you know, after you reset something after a while, it just gets, you know, unorganized again. Like I have a lot of teas and like drink mixes, you know, water, energy water stuff, vitamins up at the top, and medicines to keep down here, hot chocolates, just everything's kind of gotten in disarray. Side note, these little racks, I think they came from Lowe's or Home Depot. Some of the best things I've ever done. We've done them in just about every pantry we've ever owned. It gives you so much more storage. Look at all of that extra storage you get. My dad told me about these years ago, and now we put them in every pantry. Look at all the extra storage you get on the sides that you would only have just had on these shelves. So lots of more storage. You want to do lighter things on these. Sorry, I keep showing you guys with my finger. But you want to do lighter stuff on this because you don't want them to pull out of your door. But definitely gives you a lot more extra storage. So, all right, I'm going to jump back into it. Okay, pretty much everything is out here. I am not going to move these out. I'm going to shift them back and forth, but I'm not taking all the cans out, put them back in. If this is where I know I'm going to put them, I think that's a waste of my time and energy. So I am going to wipe the cabinet down, and then I'm going to zhuzh these in an order that works, but I am not pulling all of those out to put them right back in that spot. Everything else might kind of get redone or condensed, so I'll do that. My vitamins are going to go here. I'm going to do this last because I know I want everything pretty much here for the most part. So I'm not going to really do all of this yet because as you can see, there is a lot out here. And I'll be real honest, this overwhelms me every time I do a project. So I've tried to, like you're seeing, I'm grouping things kind of together. This was just massive and I put it there. I'm seeing that I've got extras of some things like these sugar-free syrups and stuff. Lots of beans. I think I might try to move these to this baking side of my cabinet, move some of this, so that'll free up some extra space. And then these were just in a random location, so I'm going to try to move those. So just kind of showing you guys a big overview. I just don't really want to pull anything else out, so I think this is a good spot to kind of stop. And then I'm going to clean. I'm going to go through and wipe these down. You saw me wipe down one shelf already. I'm going to wipe down. So I wiped this one down, but these shelves, see all that, need a good wipe down. I can't even see up there, so that is that. And then I'm going to come through and vacuum down here and probably run my little steam mop real quick down here. And then I will begin the process of putting everything else back into the pantry. Another thing I was going to show you guys, if you're interested, to kind of preserve these wood shelves, I put down this little liner and then literally just kind of cut them to fit. And I just like this. This kind of helps things stay put. It grips like the cans. You can kind of see it grips them a little bit, so they kind of stay put there too. So I put all these liners down, the same color as the shelves. So you may not have even noticed them if I hadn't pointed them out, but that's something I like to do in my pantries and underneath my cabinets and things like that. And it just kind of adds a nice little layer, especially if it looked real bad underneath here. That would really cover things up. So that's what we're doing. All right, so I'm gonna jump, if I don't trip and fall over everything, I'm gonna jump back in and clean things out and then start the process of putting it in order. I'm trying to take you guys along for as much of the process as I can as I'm doing things. So this whole thing here is pretty much kidney beans, these dark red kidney beans. I had an extra box of them. Oh, 2 extra boxes. We got a mistake on our grocery order and they let us keep them, so we've got a bunch of those. So I put those all here because that's pretty consistent. And then I had 2 pinto beans and another chili bean. Those all make sense together to me, so I put those there. The extra box, and this is going to be another video probably, but I have some overflow here that needs to be reorganized. So this extra box I put over here because it didn't make sense to take up prime real estate in my pantry when I'm trying to make it make sense. So that's what I'm doing here, and then I'm just kind of grouping my cans together. I am pulling out anything that's expired and get rid of that, which most of this is not. I've done a good job of kind of staying on top of my canned goods this year. That doesn't always happen. And then this is not neat looking by any means, but I may leave this in here because it kind of works too. And this was also a mishap on our grocery order, and they let us keep those too, so we're winning on that. Anyway, so that's my process of what I'm going through right now, is I'm just finding the way to organize this that fits best, group things together, and weed out anything that is expired. So that's what I do when organizing my cans. So this is the finished can section. Now I know it is not a pretty beautiful home edit, but this works. Everything is grouped together where I can see things. I staggered them, you know, when there's different things behind them, because this is the space I have to work with. I wasn't gonna go and buy a bunch of products. I've had this little organizer, anything I have and that I'm using today, I've actually had for a while, and I usually get stuff from TJ Maxx or off of Amazon, but I didn't buy anything for this organization. And here I'm not doing the fancy can organizers. I had one, and this was actually used for soda, and I just switched it over for canned goods a while ago, and it's been working. And this is just it. I don't know that it's super pretty, but I can see everything. It's functional for us, and this is what works for us. So I encourage you, find what works for you with what you have. Don't go and buy a bunch of stuff unless you can. I mean, by all means, but sometimes I think you buy stuff and it actually is not as good of a use of your space. It actually makes you waste more space sometimes, depending on what you buy. So I just encourage you, if you think, well, I don't have a bunch of fancy products or anything, neither do I. And I am just using this with what I have. I did have some containers and things you'll see here, but I've had those for a while, and those were gifts. So I'm just encouraging you to use what you have, tackle it, jump in. You will feel so much better. I'm already feeling better, and I just did the cans, so, but I'm not gonna feel too good if we don't get after this, so let's jump back in. Are sorting through all of the items in your pantry, you may come across some things that maybe don't make sense to be where they are. So I encourage you to look at everything you're pulling out and make sure it actually needs to go back into the pantry, or could it go somewhere else. I had a lot of stuff that I could pull out and move over to this baking cabinet because it made more sense to have them with all of my baking supplies that are in this little cabinet, and it wasn't very full, so I pulled things out and made this little cabinet over by my stove worked better for me, and then that freed up some of those baskets that you're seeing, and it just gave me a little extra space in my pantry, and it just made it work and make a little more sense for functioning and when I'm cooking and doing things. So I encourage you to really evaluate everything you're taking out and putting back in. Make sure it makes sense where you have it placed. Here's another tip I have when you're decanting things into these plastic containers. If there's specific instructions, like for oats, I just tape them on the back of the container so you still have it, but you can get rid of the oats containers or whatever. So if you have anything, just tape the instructions if you need them on the back of the container. When you start putting everything back into your pantry, I really encourage you to mess around with the placement of everything. Move it, tweak it. You may put it one place and then move it. Move it around as much as you need to make it make sense and work for you. Think about how you come into the pantry, how you use it, what works best for your family, and just play and tweak it until it works for you. I did that a lot in this video. I always do that when I'm reorganizing a space. And I think it helps you to really see, to move it around and try different things out. And then you may set it and live with it for a week or two and decide you need to move it to another place. So I encourage you to just really make the space work for you. It'll make cooking and being in your kitchen and pantry, and it'll just make it so much more enjoyable for you if it's functional for you and your family. Okay guys, we are getting close to the end, and this is where it gets hard, and you just have to really push through now because you're like, I'm stuck. I have a handful of things, you'll see kind of behind me. I've got a handful of things that I've got to find places for, but I'm liking the way it looks now, so I'm like, well, where do I put it? So I'm gonna have to finagle some things, so I'm gonna turn you around and show you here. Okay, so I have got just some random stuff. This is trash, this is trash. Okay, so just some crackers, an empty container, and then the chips. The chips were on the floor, and I hated that, but I don't know where to put them, and we've kind of just got randoms. This is a good reason why you want to clean out your pantry periodically. You have more things than you know. So we've got just kind of half full and almost empty bags of chips here, and I don't know where to put them. I may condense this and use these, maybe here, you know, like in these, just to keep everything together. Maybe I can get rid of a bunch of these boxes. That's what I'm hoping. But here's progress so far. Top shelf, I put a bunch of stuff that I don't use very often. The things I do use, I center them kind of right here. So I've got my sugars, rice, popcorn, oats, flour, and then some extra protein powders and things that don't get used as much down there. The ones that get used down here. Still trying to find a place. I'm gonna put overflow over in that cabinet like I was showing you guys. This is a bunch of overflow, so I'm gonna put some stuff over there. Gotta find places for some of our baking things. Trying to figure that out right now. I've got a space here. Trying to figure out how to best utilize my stuff. That empty basket that I cleaned out and put over with some baking supplies, I was able to use it for my baby's little teether wafers that he loves, so that helped. These are my kids' little snacks. I try to keep all of this stuff where they can reach it. Overflow of coffee, wafers. There's really no other place for me to store this stuff, so it's still gonna be down here. I hate it, but it is what it is. We have a bunch of like extra, I forget what it's called, just extra food in case we were to have like a natural disaster or something. We've got a little bit of those kind of extra food supply things where, you know, electricity to go out or something and we couldn't cook, then we would have some extra things like that. That's kind of why we keep water the way we do. We won't have to get any water for a while, as you can see. But that's just kind of, so that stuff is bulk and I don't know where else to put it. So, but as you are hearing, Dallas is up, so I am gonna have to stop for a minute, which kills me to have to stop kind of 3/4 of the way through, but I've got to go get my baby. He is talking and wanting me to come get him. So we will reconvene here shortly. Emptied boxes condensed down to this. So let's see. Now this is going to work. Well, it works. This is kind of that wasted space I was kind of talking about, how, you know, sometimes, but maybe I can find ways to utilize that. So I think I actually kind of like this. I put a bunch of medicine dispensers and the little medicine cups in one of these things. It's just something I had, so I group them all together and put them in this, and that seems to keep it all together. Otherwise they're like falling out of the shelves and all over the place. So that's a little tip for storing your medicines or your dispensers. Here's a bunch of boxes I got rid of, y'all. I've already thrown a bunch out in the trash. I took my trash bag out. It was full, but it was not from actually my pantry though, guys. I didn't have to throw as much stuff away as I thought I would that was expired or bad or stale. So here it is. This is it. I cannot tell you guys how good this feels to get a project checked off my list that was driving me nuts, that now is just tidy and in order. It's not perfect, like I said, it does not look like a home edit pantry, but for me, everyday stay-at-home mama, this works. I hope this encourages you guys. Use what you have. I didn't buy a single thing. I had everything, I just reused it, maybe repurposed it. Like this little basket, I got rid of some stuff and put, you know, this works now because I've got a baby that's eating solids, so that helped contain his stuff. I repurposed these. They weren't working for me, so I used them now for all of my little drink mixes and teas, and just made things make sense and have an order. So I encourage you guys today, get it in your mind, something you want to do, a problem area that's bothering you, and tackle it. And it's never ending. I will tell you, I moved some things over here, and so this will be one of my next videos, is organizing these drawers down here, over here. All of this could be utilized so much better for our family. So that's gonna be a next video, but here it is, guys. This feels so good. I encourage you, tackle a project today or set a time to do it. That's what I did. I knew today was the day when my kids went back to school. This was gonna be the day that I would tackle the pantry, and here it is. It feels so good. So good. I had been wanting to do this for months. I shouldn't have waited. So this is your nudge, guys. Get after something, tackle it today, or put it on your schedule to tackle it here very soon. That is going to be it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today and watching me as I organize my pantry. I hope I gave you some motivation and inspiration to tackle a project in your house. Maybe it's your pantry, maybe it's something else. I just hope I gave you some inspiration today. I want to be a positive influence and a positive light in your life. That's why I make these videos, is to inspire and bring joy and encourage you. Whether you are a mother or a father or anybody in life, we all need encouragement. We all need motivation. So that is why I do this, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video today. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you in my YouTube community and just be a part of us uplifting and encouraging one another. Hit that bell notification so you don't miss a single video. I've got lots of good declutter and motivation for organizing coming up in this new year. Stay tuned for that, and until next time, guys, take care.